we're back. It's our Ask the Expert segment. Today, Auger Hollingsworth in. Brenda is here to take your calls, your questions. 789-6559, extension 2803, ottawa.morning@ctv.ca. We have Ralph on the line with a question for Brenda. Ralph, good morning. Thanks for joining us. What's your question?
Yeah, hi. Just wondering about what the rule is or what advice you have for these people getting a small fender bender on the Queensway or something and don't pull over to the side. If the cars are operable, shouldn't they be getting off the road?
It's a good question because we see this often.
For sure, it's a fair question, and a lot of times that is what you've got to do. If you're on the Queensway and it's a minor fender bender, you should probably pull over to the side. I mean, the problem is when people are worried about, am I going to be able to prove that the other person is at fault? But if it's an actual fender bender, one person in front, one person behind, there's not going to be a debate about who's responsible for that.
Right.
If the cars are operable and you're not worried about that, pull over. And just make sure that you're very clear if the police attend with what happened, and hopefully the damage to the car substantiates that. I mean, you need to be safe, right? It's not safe to stay in the middle of the highway and or any of the big busy streets.
Same would go if there's no even highway or any city street. I would imagine that there's no major injuries that would prevent you or anyone else from driving the car off to the side. It's probably safer that you're all off to the side while you wait for police as opposed to the middle of the road where you could find yourself ending up in another accident, in an unsafe situation.
Right. I mean, the time when it's trickier is when it's, say, a T-bone in the middle of an intersection and maybe the cars are operable, maybe they aren't. Maybe you're safe to drive, maybe you're not. Certainly if your airbags deploy, I wouldn't be driving the car.
Right.
I mean, somebody else might feel differently, but I wouldn't drive a car where the airbags deployed.
Okay.
So it's really a judgment call. But in terms of what Ralph was talking about, fender bender on the Queensway, I don't see the risk of moving over, and it's probably safer and smarter to do that.
Ralph, thanks so much for that call. Let's talk about not leaving the scene of an accident, whether or not you were the one hit or you hit someone else. What kind of information do you need to have before you do say, okay, bye, and you leave?
Right, so if the police are coming, wait for the police, you know, and sometimes it's long, and that is unfortunate, but if they're coming, you wait. If they're not coming, or if they've already come and gone, make sure you're leaving that scene with the defendant or the at-fault driver's name and address and driver's license. Okay. That is very important.
What if they don't want? What if they don't want to give it to you?
Yeah, so I actually had that once. Somebody had the misfortune of hitting me, which is not what you want to do. And he told me my license plate is my identification. You write down my license plate, and that's it. And I probably, you know, it was a very minor accident, and I probably would have just let it go if he'd given me his information. But you know, so I phoned the OPP, it was on the Queensway, and I said, this guy won't give me his information. And they said, we'll be right there. Yeah, he actually got a ticket for that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, the accident was minor, but not cooperating and not providing information resulted in, I don't know exactly what the ticket was, but he did get a ticket as a result. He wouldn't have if he given me his information.
Okay, medical attention is another big part of this. And you say get it as soon as possible. Why?
Right, well, one of the things that insurance companies try to do is they try to say that something that you're complaining about, like if you've got back pain or neck pain or whatever, it's caused by something else. It's caused by your job. It's caused by an injury you had when you were 15. Like all of this kind of stuff. The longer it is between the accident and when you get medical attention for the accident, the harder it is to prove that causal link. Plus, sometimes you need that attention. Sometimes early intervention makes a big difference.
For your own recovery.
That's right. And a lot of people have sort of different health people they see on a regular basis. Maybe you go to the chiropractor or maybe you go to a massage regularly. And a lot of people think, okay, well, I'll just go to my regular chiropractor and tell him or her about the accident, and you know, they'll record it. But the truth is, you know, that's your spine. If it's a chiropractor, they're dealing with your muscles and your spine, and that is helpful, but they're not going to be dealing with, say, the emotional effects of the accident. So my advice is always to see a medical doctor as soon as possible after the accident.
Because it's not just the physical ailments you may have suffered, it's
Right.
also the emotional and psychological elements. We're going to talk a
Sure.
little bit more about that and how
Yeah.
that can even affect your insurance. That's a big component to it. There's how you can get a hold of us if you have some questions. Give us a call, send us an email, message us on Facebook. Brenda is here for another segment. She's ready to take your questions. She'll have the answers for you. Stay with us, back after this.